Lightning, Fang, Snow, and Hope, after having just been picked up by Jack Russell, decide that they're going to take on the big fleet, the big airship, the Palamecia, and they're going to rescue Vanilla and Saj, who they believe to be trapped on the other ship. Apparently Reigns is helping them. I just can't. I don't understand this guy's motivations at all. Alrighty, bets are on the table. We'll leave when you're ready. I'll be standing by. Yeah, that's a better impression. Better than the big boss impression I had before. He's more of a kind of higher pitch kind of guy. You know, I'm not messing around. My name's Jack Russell. Here to start a fire with my bare fists. Yeah, I lived in the wilderness for all my life. I got raised by wolves. So, get this. The hero's plan is to go onto the airship as cargo, jump around aimlessly on the sides of the outside of the ship where they could fall tens of thousands of feet to their death, and find Vanilla and Saj by basically just running through a bunch of linear corridors and hoping that they eventually meet up with them somewhere down the road. They don't have a map. They don't have any clue about the structure of the ship. They don't have any key cards, any kind of uniforms or something they could stealth their way through. Nothing. They're just totally doing this. Of course, they don't go unopposed, but when you think about how many soldiers they have on that ship, you'd think they could mount some sort of full-scale attack on the Fal'Cie and just take them all out by calling all their soldiers into action. But again, I can't get invested in this at all. Because this chapter is the one right before the game decides to get good, it feels so padded and drawn out, and all the monsters just get really annoying after a while. More so than the rest of the game, because the next chapter is literally the one where you get to choose your own party leader, and then the game just gets better from there until after chapter 11, which it just goes downhill again. Or rather, it goes off a cliff. But really, I mean, chapters 10 and 11 are the best chapters. I mean, chapter 10 is still really friggin' annoying, because all you're doing is fighting monsters for no reason. But lost my train of thought. After a bit, the game cuts back to Saj and Vanille, and it turns out that Saj is alive after all. Basically, what happened was when he pointed the gun to his forehead, or to his temple, he was ready to kill himself, but he overshot instead. He just couldn't bring himself to do it. However, I have a bit of a hard time because, okay, you realize in order to overshoot, Saj had to shoot above his absurdly tall afro. So it makes me feel like his suicide attempt, quote unquote, was not very sincere. Then the only flashback that matters in the entire game occurs, in which Vanille wakes from her crystal slumber, and you'll see why it matters in a second. Okay, and tell me if this makes any sense. You can stand 15 feet away from the soldiers and they don't shoot at you. They have the guns right in their hands. Yet when you initiate a battle, they start shooting at you. In fact, they don't even see you. Watch this. Really? Really? Did that just happen? I crossed a bunch. What is this, basketball? I just did a crossover. And that's not even bothering to mention that my party members can literally stand right next to the soldiers and not even be noticed. Anyway, so Vanilla and Saj break out of prison in the most unconvincing way possible. A chocobo rams into the metal helmet, the solid metal helmet of a soldier, and knocks him off balance. A feathery, soft chocobo rams into the solid metal helmet of a soldier and knocks him off balance. And then Vanille takes one of the soldiers' guns and shoots the monster down, and it's really cool. It's like, whoa. I don't know why they didn't keep the guns. Saj already uses guns. It wouldn't have been that much of a challenge for him, and Vanille just killed the monster without even wasting a full clip. So, I don't know why they go back to using their stupid unconventional weapons. I mean, seriously, summoning an Eidolon would have been a more plausible way of getting out of there, or maybe even using fire magic to blast the door away or something. I don't know, but come on. A chocobo? Really? If I had a bomb for every time the music changed, and during this chapter alone, I could probably blow up the sun. I mean, this part, it just feels like it's dragging on. And maybe that's because, like I said, we're almost to the end of the game, which is where things start. I mean, the chapters 10 and 11, which is where things start getting better. But it's just sometimes this chapter I just want to give up. I'm like, I can't. I don't have the willpower to keep going on. But I've gotten this far. I'm damn sure not giving up now. So then you have to fight a boss thing similar to the one you fight at the beginning of the game. I'm not going to count that, but you do have to fight it again, so I'm going to count that. Vanille and Saj blast through a wall or something. I don't know why they couldn't do that while they were trapped in the cell. But they blast through a wall and get reunited with the rest of the party. Fang checks out Vanille's ass to check the tattoo. And then there's a little moment where Saj is kind of in a daze. He's kind of, not in a daze, but he's kind of drifts off. And it's either one of two things. He's thinking about how happy Vanille and Fang are together and how he wishes he could have his son, or he's jealous that Fang gets to have Vanille and he doesn't. I'm thinking obviously that it's the latter, because I'm kind of pressing this whole Vanille-Saj relationship thing, but really there's no proof of either, so I can't really make a definite statement. The party uses one of the enemy monsters to fly exactly to where they need to go. Not even gonna mention the issues with that. I just don't even care anymore. One more chapter and then we get to the fun stuff for a little while. So they literally get shot at by everyone and don't get taken down or anything. And they manage to make it to where they need to go because the game world is linear. I'm just gonna start repeating myself. After years of turmoil, I finally make it to the evil baddie, Barthandelus, who kills Nabat and lies like there's no frickin' tomorrow and you have to fight him. Turns out that Barthandelus, the leader of the Sanctum or whatever, is actually a Fal'Cie, a pulse Fal'Cie. And he brought all the Fal'Cie together to destroy Cocoon, as their focus predicted or whatever. I don't really believe it. He says that Sarah's true focus was to bring them all together, but Fang wasn't even there, and she's, at the end of the game, not to ruin it, but at the end of the game, she's the one that turns into Ragnarok, so wasn't she kind of necessary, and doesn't that mean that Sarah didn't completely fulfill her focus? So Barthandelus is so annoying to fight. He's one of the most annoying bosses in the entire game, especially this first time that you fight him, because he's just, you have to defeat all of his other his shoulder plates or whatever, the pauldrons and stuff, defeat them first and then go after the main body, and he has a crap load of health. And get this, he has a move that when he uses it, you have to keep attacking him, and it looks like an obvious, like, oh my gosh, get into defensive stance kind of move because it's going to do a lot of damage. It looks like it because he has to charge up for it and everything. And to take less damage from it, you have to keep attacking him and do a certain amount of damage to him so it does less damage. What sense does that make? Yeah, it's innovative, but it's just counterintuitive. Most people would think, oh, I have to go into my Medic Sentinel or Sentinel whatever to block it or to heal myself from it, whatever, because that's how you normally do it. That's how you take less damage. But no, you have to keep attacking him, which goes against everything. How do you keep attacking someone who's obviously doing a finishing move on you? After you beat Barthandelus, he just comes back, like nothing even happened. Barthandelus says the only reason they didn't beat him is because they did not fight to win. I think they did. That's why they beat you. I love how he says one of them will become Ragnarok. First of all, at the end of the game, 2 of them become Ragnarok. And second of all, why is everyone necessary if only one of them is going to become Ragnarok? Why are half of these characters, especially the ones that have terrible backstories, the ones that are completely unnecessary, like Lightning, Snow, Sarah isn't necessary at all. Hope is not really necessary. Fang, Vanilla, and Saj are really the only really necessary ones. Why do there need to be 6 people? I mean, granted, I like having more character choices, but there doesn't need to be that many unnecessary people, because if you take Sarah out, then it could just be like the soldiers found Vanille and said, hey, she's a Fal'Cie. We have to start this purge because she's could be infecting everyone else. There was no need for Sarah to be the one who starts the purge, because Vanilla and Sarah were in the same place. Barthandelus's owl turns into an airship. I don't get it. Maybe the owl is an Eidolon or something, and that's his transformation. But yeah, it turned into an airship, and the Fal'Cie get on the airship and make their escape, and they end up crash landing in what they believe to be a training zone. Eventually you meet up with Cid Raines, who explains basically the history of the Fal'Cie. The story is total bullshit. You really don't need to know it to understand the game anymore, because it doesn't help. I'd rather just read this, though I'm not going to read it anyway. Turns out Raines is a Fal'Cie, though how he knows the story about the Fal'Cie and everything, I have no idea. Maybe Barthandelus told him, and Barthandelus is a known liar, so it could be possible that Raines doesn't actually know what he's talking about. None of this is verified. Again, there's no wise architect in this game, so none of this is verified. None of this is proven to be true. It's just a bunch of idle talk. And Raines turns out to be a bad guy, who turns out to be a good guy, who turns out to be a bad guy. So who knows what his true intentions are, what his ulterior motives are. Apparently, he says he wanted to do a good thing, but he's doing a good thing by destroying these guys. So I don't really understand that. So yeah, Raines is a Fal'Cie, but he's a really badass Fal'Cie. He has this really badass form. It makes me wonder, why are the Fal'Cie we're playing as not as badass as these guys? Again, I said the character design is conservative at best, but it's not really cool. Like, there's a coolness factor and there's a sexiness factor that Final Fantasy, all the other Final Fantasy games had. In this game, it's absent. A good strategy for this guy is just to use Vanille to poison his ass. I actually didn't realize how easy it becomes once you poison him. And I don't even really have to land any attacks. It's kind of like defeating Vercingetorix. You just have to poison him and his HP goes down on its own, even if you don't have your Crystarium up. After you beat Raines, he turns into Crystal, and yeah. Watch me, and the words that I say that echo on the clock, rhythm in my veins. But in the end, no matter what I pretend, the journey is home, and in the end.